The brachial plexus is composed of roots, trunks, divisions, cords, and branches. The roots arise from the anterior rami of the spinal nerves of C5 to T1. They exit the vertebral column through the intervertebral foramina, passing between anterior and middle scalene. There are three trunks: the superior, C5 and C6 combined, middle, which is C7, inferior, which is C8 and T1. Each trunk divides into an anterior and a posterior division. Divisions recombine to form cords. The cords are formed in the axilla. The cords are named relative to the axillary artery. There are three cords: the lateral, the posterior, and the medial cords. The lateral cord is composed of the anterior divisions from the superior and the middle trunk. The posterior cord is composed of the posterior divisions of all three trunks, and the medial cord is composed of the anterior division from the inferior trunk. There are 5 major branches: the musculocutaneous nerve. This has motor innervation of the brachialis muscle, biceps brachii, and coracobrachialis, and sensation by the lateral cutaneous nerve of the forearm. The axillary nerve. This supplies teres minor and deltoid. Sensory function is via the superior lateral cutaneous nerve of the arm and the regimental badge inferior to deltoid. The radial nerve. This supplies triceps brachii, the extensors, the mobile wad, and supinator. Sensory function is to the posterior cutaneous nerve of the arm, posterior cutaneous nerve of the forearm, and the superficial branch of the radial nerve. The median nerve. This supplies the loaf muscles of the hand and the flexor muscles, excluding FCU and the ulnar head of FTP. Sensory function is the palmocutaneous nerve of the hand and the digital nerves. The ulnar nerve. This supplies the remaining intrinsic hand muscles, the deep head of flexor pollicis brevis, FCU, and the medial head of FDP. Sensory function is via the dorsal branch of the ulnar nerve and the digital nerves. There are several minor branches from the roots, the dorsal scapular and the long thoracic nerves. From the trunks, the suprascapular nerve and the nerves to subclavius. From the cords, the lateral pectoral nerve. This supplies the clavicular head of pectoralis major. And from the medial cord, the medial pectoral nerve that supplies the sternal head of pec major and pec minor. From the medial cord, the medial cutaneous nerve of the arm and the medial cutaneous nerve of the forearm. From the posterior cord, the superior subscapular nerve, the thoracodorsal nerve, and the inferior subscapular nerve.